Taiz is one of the 10 governorates in Yemen that is one step from reaching famine. It's a difficult operation for us, but we're proud that our team managed to take this opportunity to go inside the besieged area of Taiz city and deliver food. We've delivered food twice each time for 3,000 families. I have to say this is not enough. We need to go back. We need to continue delivering food to Taiz, but also to the rest of the Yemeni people, wherever they are in Yemen.
Our group's case study is on the crisis in Yemen, and I'm Emily Jeffrey. So just a little about the context. Johannes van de Klauw, the UN humanitarian coordinator, called Yemen a humanitarian catastrophe. And the reason why he said that is the background context is before March 2015. For the past few years, there's been a lot of political instability and along with widespread poverty. So before March, half of all citizens lived below the poverty line. 2/3 of the youth were unemployed, and there was a huge lack of social services. So before any of the bombings and more increased conflicts arise, there was already a population at a huge risk, and additionally 61% of the population, or 16 million people, were in need of humanitarian aid. And then in March of 2015, there was an escalation of conflict. And this was between the Houthi rebels who took over power from the President Abu Mansour Hadi, who was exiled.
Okay, so the conflict started in March of 2015, March 19th, the Battle of Aden International Airport, where those loyal to the former president, Saleh, attacked the airport. And then the next day, there were mosque bombings. There was 4 suicide attacks, killed 142 people, and wounded more than 350, so it was the deadliest attack in Yemen's history. March 22nd, Houthi forces take over Taiz, the 3rd largest city in Yemen. And then March 25th, the fighting reached the outskirts of Aden, and as of January 2016, the city is still under attack. March 25th, the Saudi Arabian forces and 8 other countries entered Yemen. And then after around a month, the bombing campaign was declared officially over, and Operation Restoring Hope was announced. May 10th, there was a 5-day ceasefire proposed by Saudi Arabia, accepted by the Houthis, and began on May 12th. Only lasted for 4 days. The ceasefire was broken, fighting broke out in several places, there was multiple dead and wounded, and as of now, the conflict is still happening.
So going into this crisis, 61% of the Yemeni population was already in a state of needing humanitarian aid. Yemen, going into the crisis, was the poorest country in the Middle East, and this crisis has only made things worse. An average of 43 human rights violations occurred daily, with about 7,500 civilian casualties, which means that the civilian population has not by any means been kept out of the conflict. On top of that, there are 14.3 million Yemenis without clean drinking water, an additional 100,000 on top of that 14.3 million who do not have access to enough food. They're food insecure. It affects more or less the whole of Yemen. 21 out of the 22 Yemeni provinces have been affected by the conflict. And on top of that, there are over 1 million people who are internally displaced, which has led the head of the International Council of Red Cross, Robert Maurer, to say that Yemen, after 5 months, looks like Syria did after 5 years. So by all accounts, it's one of the worst conflicts going on in the Middle East today. The healthcare industry in Yemen is near collapse, which doesn't help things out either. And on top of that, on a more economic level, oil production in the country, which is one of the backbones of the Yemeni economy, is down 60 to 70%, which has led economists to say that the Yemeni GDP should be down by at least 25% compared to where it would have been without the conflict, which was already at a low place.